کلاس دیگر از مesilat یشاریم رو با هم دیگه شروع میکنیم که برای هم به خوبی نتیجه بخش باشه. مؤثر زخوت رمحال حرام مشحیم لساتو با تمام تعلیماتش و درسهاش چراغ راهنمایی باشه برای رفع گزرات از همون و بسرات توبت و خبرهای خوب به عزت هشم. رسیدیم به صفحه 93. و we almost داریم براخا میکنیم فصل 4. خدا رو شکر خوب پیش رفتیم. بعد از 1 سال چند ورق رفتیم جلو و رسیدیم به آخر پایان چپتر 4 فصل 4 و میدونم که خدا رو شکر چندین فصل دیگه رو در پیش داریم دیگه. آره با خدا دیگه کامل قشنگ. پس زهیروت چقدر مهمه که آدم جلو پاشو مواظب باشه که مبادا که سر نخوره و بیفته و بعدش هم بحث جدیدی تو کلاس شروع بشه که چطور آدم باید فیزیوتراپی بکنه و الی آخر. پس در پاسخ این چنین میگه که انسان نباید از خونسردی خداوند سوء استفاده بکنه، بلکه باید بگه رحم خداوند اتفاقا خونسردی خداونده و تا هنوز خونسرد و رحمش برام مهیاست ازش استفاده بکنم و توبه و تشویق و یا پشیمونی و یا هر نوع تغییری که باید رو تو زندگیم پدید بیارم. پس پیج 93 گفتی درسته؟ نمسا شئین لآدم هاروتسه لیفکوح عیناو פיתוי שיוכל להתפתות בו לבלתי ייזהר במעשיו בתכלית הזהירות ודקדק בהם תכלית הדקדוק. پس اینجوری نتیجه میشه که کسی که نمیخواد هوشیار باشه שאין לאדם הרוצה לפקוח عیناو پیتوی، کسی که واقعا بخواد هوشیار باشه هیچ حالت شورتکاتی براش نیست. پیتوی شیوخل لحیپتوت بو و تنها راه حل چیه؟ اگر میخواد هوشیار باشی یه ظاهر به معصا مواظب کارات باش، به تخلیط از زهیرود منتا علیه پرهیزکاری، دقت، هوشیاری و دکتک با هم و اعمالش رو شخص کاملا دقت به خرج بده. تخلیط حدیکتو نهایت دقت یعنی اینکه جوری که ما وسط سال برنج پاک میکنیم با شب ما که برنج پاک میکنیم چیه؟ فرق داره. کدوم برنج رو بیشتر دقت به خرج بدیم؟ شب ماه. طول سال فقط مواظبیم که شن و ماسه و حالت سبوس و کاه و اینا همراهش نباشه، اما برای شب ماه دقت به خرج میدیم که حتی گندم هم درش نباشه، جو هم نباشه، هیچ نوع غلات دیگه درش نباشه. دیگه همینطور هم شخص بستگی به اینه که از چه ذره‌بینی و میکروسکوپی استفاده میکنه لدکته to be more careful که آیا اعمالش، حرفش، گفتارش چطور داره تأثیر میده. پس میگه هن کل ال هشکافت شیشکی فریهن آدم و یکنه با هم میدت از زهیرود و دای این بعل نفش رو. These are all the perspectives that a person must consider, and by doing so, he will certainly acquire the trait of zahirut if he is a person of consciousness. یعنی کسی که واقعا اون پرسپکتیو و دیدگاه و هشکافاش سعی کنه بر طبق این دیدگاهی باشه که ما صحبت کردیم، اون موقع است که میتونه زهیروت رو اونجوری که لازمه اکوایر بکنه، صاحب بشه، به دست بیاره. معمولا اشخاصی که تو سبزی پاک کردن، مرغ پاک کردن، برنج پاک کردن دقت دارن، به اون صورت دقتشون مثل اونهایی که طلا رو از خواب جدا میکنن و تشخیص میدن نیست. پس کسی که واقعا دقتش تو زندگی همیشه است، نه فقط شب کیپور، نه فقط تو کنیسا، دقتش برای حرف و رفتارش همیشه است، دیگه اون میتونه واقعا زهیروت رو اکوایر بشه و دیگه جزوش باشه که ناخودآگاه نومدرواد اتوماتیکلی هم همیشه چک میکنه، مواظب، ظاهر، پرهیزه. یکی تعریف میکرد که یکی از دوستانش تو اسرائیل بعد از اینکه از سربازی اومده بود، برای چند وقتی که بازار برگرده، شب خوابیده بود. یک بار مادرش یا پدرش بدون هیچ نظری یا هر چیزی میرن بالا سرش، موقعی که خوابیده بوده، ببینن همه چی اوکی. یه باره تا نزدیک میشن این بلند میشه، گلوشون و گردنشون رو دو دستی میگیره و تا صدا بیشتر میکنن تا موقع ولشون میکنه. ایشون میگن چیکار میکنیم؟ ما انقدر ما رو هوشیار، آلرت، سریع بار آوردن که کوچکترین چیزی که در خواب حتی متوجه میشیم زودی عکس العمل نشون میدیم. انقدر اینا باید مواظب باشن. چون اونو که میدونه که شاید یه دشمن باشه. میگه همینطورم کسی که نسبت به زهیرود بتونه انقدر خودش رو تقویت بکنه، انقدر دقت به خرج بده، خودش رو تقویت بکنه که فوراً بتونه کنترل فکر، کنترل احساس، کنترل رفتار داشته باشه. میگه همین این داره زهیروت رو در آن قوی‌تر و قوی‌تر میکنه و مثل این که هر چقدر انسان زهیروتش، هوشیاریش، اورنسش بیشتر باشه، مثل این که بادیگارد بیشتری در اطرافشه. حالا کسی که زهیروتش فقط مواظب دست و پاشه که یه رفتاری ازش سر نظر اشتباه، 2 تا بادیگارد داره. کسی که مواظب کلامش هم هست که حرف اشتباه نزنه، 4 تا بادیگارد داره. کسی که مواظب چشمانش هم هست، 10 تا بادیگارد داره. کسی که مواظب گوشاش هم هست که حرف اشتباه نشنوه، 20 تا بادیگارد داره. یعنی کسی که مواظب فکرش هست که فکر اشتباه نکنه، 86 تا بادیگارد. حالا بگی 86 تا کجا آوردی؟ بعدا صحبت. پس اینجاست هر چقدر انسان بیشتر مواظب خودش باشه، بهترین محافظت رو برای خودش پیش آورده. هر چقدر هم بگیم غریق نجات، لایفگارد اینجا هست، هنوز خود آدم باید بلد بشه مواظب باشه که پاشو جای گود نبره و یا شنا کردن خوب بلد. پس زهیرود یکی از اولین پله هایی که داره رمحال هراموش حیم نساتو به ما معرفی میکنه که فعلا تا الان تو این 4 تا پرکی که فصلی که پای سرم گذاشتیم، یکی دومش که مقدمه بود و 3 تای بعدیش چی بود؟ در مورد زهیروت میگفت که چقدر انسان باید اول پایه حواس جمعی رو در خودش تقویت بکنه، بعد اون موقع بخواد به بقیه پایه ها و پله ها و درجات دیگه برسه. به سیمانا تابا پرک ه یادتون باشه که ما فصل 5 یه هفته بعد از روش خودش شروع کردیم، روش خودش تموز، و به امید خدا دیگه سعی کنیم تا هنوکا ازش یه نتیجه بگیریم. پرک ه به بیور مفسیده از زهیرود حکام هم میگه هنوزم بالاخره بهترین چوبی هم که آدم استفاده بکنه برای میز و صندلی، اینا امکانش هست که پوسیده بشن، امکان هست که موریانه بخوردشون، امکانه که شکسته بشن. پس چه کار کنن؟ میگه با رنگ سعی میکنن با یک سری مواد یا روغنها و یا تینرهای مختلف اونها رو قوی بکنن که این چوبا پوسیده نشه، حتی با اینکه با هوا و آب و بارون در تماس. میگه همینطور هم زهیروت شخص هر چقدر هم بخواد ظاهر باشه، ولی هنوز یه چیزایی هست که میاد هوشیاری آدم رو کم میکنه، زهیروت انسان رو کم میکنه و چه بسا اون رو بی تأثیر میکنه که دیگه طرف کاری به زهیروت و پرهیزکاری نداره. اینه مفسده هم میسوا ساتان یا میخونیم ببینیم چیه. اینه مفسده هم میدهزد و مرحکه هم شلوشا. میگه 3 تا ما اینجا در واقع جای نگرانی یا concern داریم که we have to be concerned about 3 things. در مورد 3 موضوع. Can you pass me the English dictionary? We have to change that to English.
Oh, with the normal one.
No.
What do you want? You want?
Go. Hello. So we just conclude Perek Revi'i and we're starting Perek Hamishia of Mesilat Yesharim. That how much not only we have to be careful about ourselves, we have to be careful about our carefulness as well. We have to be careful about our zehirut, that our zehirut should not get faded and not should go weak. We have to keep it strong. And there are 3 things which are mafsidei hazehirut. They are kind of threat to our zehirut, to our awareness. Ha'ehadhu hat-tipul v'hat-tirdah ha'olami. مشغله زندگی، فشارهای زندگی، busyness, the pressure, and all the involvement that we have for our life, for our kids, for our health, for our future, parnasa, this, that, all these busyness that we have, that we are constantly busy and involved about our life, that takes away our zehirut, that lower our zehirut, our awareness to be careful. Because sometimes we get so busy that we don't pay attention. And since we don't pay attention, we fall into trap and we see that we stop. And we said something we didn't have to. We did something we didn't supposed to. Why? Because we were under pressure. הטיפול והטרדה העולמי. As you know, Hashem decreed upon Adam HaRishon, bizat apecha tochal lechem, that you have to work hard, and with your sweat abroad, you have to bring parnasa to yourself. Gan Eden, you had everything buffet, everything served. You only had to take and eat. But when it comes to Olam Hazeh, you have to work hard. You have to do your hishtadlut. So that hishtadlut and that working hard takes away our his zehirut, lowers our vigilance and awareness. Second, which is very important, Hashani, the second threat to our awareness and our carefulness, threat to our zehirut, which is very important nowadays, is hasahok v'halatzon, means making jokes. شوخی، این که آدم همه چیزو بخواد به مسخره بگیره، لتسانو، سخوک. So these things makes the person less careful, less zahir, because true sahuk and letzanut, true kind of having fun and making jokes and being lightheaded and this and that, the person may cross the border and may do things which was not supposed to. And what is the third threat to our zehirut? Now already you should know. So first one was our personal involvement, necessity and pressure. Second was sahok and letzano, joking around. And what is the third one? Hebra hara'ah, wrong crowd. The wrong crowd, یک اتمسفر و محیط بعد، یک جمع نادرست متاسفانه ما رو دنبال خودش میبره. That's why it says oil Rasha, oil Shecheno. This Rasha, we understand why it has to be punished. But why the Shachen, why the neighbor of the Rasha has to be punished? Because he is in the wrong neighborhood, wrong crowd, and he got affected as well through his neighbor. So therefore, sometimes, yes, we look back 20 years ago, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago. Wow, how careful I was 10 years ago about my lashon, about my words. How careful I was about Shabbat, how careful I was about this. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years passed, little by little, we got dissolved in our environment, our surrounding, and we lost sensitivity. And that's why almost 20 years passed, and we still haven't fixed that door. And still, we became used to it. In the first week that door got broken, people pay attention. But little by little, as time passed, people became less sensitive. So this is what it says. Hashalishi, The third things which is going to affect or threat or damage our perspective and our zahirut, our carefulness, habra ra'a, wrong crowd, wrong friends, wrong school, even wrong yeshiva, even wrong tree. Anything you name it, habra, the crowd, could be even at work, could be anywhere. So now you could tell me very easily what would enhance our zahirut. چی میتونه زهیروت ما رو تقویت بکنه؟ Exactly opposite of these three. The first one was tirda, and involvement and the concern that we have. So the less concern and more emunah that you have will help your zehirut to be careful and not to get misled or distracted. Hashani, same thing, exactly opposite of sahut and letzanut. The opposite of what? To be sanua, to be modest, to be more quiet, not to be that loud. So the more you're careful about your seniut as far as talking, or your voice, your kind of being eye-catching and everything, being less center of attention and this and that. So more sanwa, that will help you to keep up with your zahirut, even it would enhance. Because people know he or she is not the type of a person that you could joke around. She is a little bit serious. She's a little bit more modest, more sanua. So that will keep the boundaries and the zahirut intact. And the shalishi, the third good impact for our zahirut is hebra tova, a good environment, good crowd, dealing or hanging out with people who you know are themselves careful or higher than you. And this is what it says in Gemara. When you're looking to get married, find someone less than you, lower than yourself. But when you're looking to find friends, find someone higher than you. This way you could look up to him or her and lift up your values as well, and you could improve yourself better. Lower, because this way that someone would value you, appreciate you better. So we see from here one thing which unfortunately our generation 4 years ago got affected by it was partially, not everyone, partially was hebra ra'a, a wrong crowd, wrong environment. We, as a Persian Jewry, we were so naive. We thought everybody, whoever has a Magen David, Sionit, سیسیف میپوشه، کلا سر میذاره، پس این واقعا جویشه. فرق بین ریفورم و کنسرواتیو و ارتودکس رو نمیدونستیم تو ایران. همه یک کنیسا میرفتیم تا اینکه یه عده‌ای اومدن آمریکا یا جای دیگه and they got involved with reform and conservative schools. بعد اون موقع wrong crowd, wrong environment, unfortunately, they lost even their values which they were proud of in Iran in the past. و دیگه هیچ اثر باقی ازشون نموند. and they got assimilated, all because, unfortunately, when they came, پاشون به کنیسه‌های ریفورم و کنسرواتیو باز شد و اونها رو نسبت به دین و آیین دور کرد. But Baruch Hashem, there were, on the other hand, many people as well who came, they had the zechut to be in the good environment. Baruch Hashem, they grew, they built a family, their children, even their grandchildren in path of Torah, all because they had the zechut to be in the right environment. So let's go one more step, and little by little to elaborate and to explain these three threads to our zehirut. که حتی موقعی هم که خودش میخواد شخص مواظب باشه ولی نمیشه. environment نمیذاره، اخلاق خودش نمیذاره، شوخیاش نمیذارن، یا مشغله و سختی های زندگی نمیذارن. To be careful and all these things. I remember once I heard a story that one Jew who was in the army, I think in United States Army, he came to Rabbi and he asked for bracha from him. So Rabbi Bakhshi Zochni bracha told him, you know what, be careful about mitzvah of netilat yadayim. Whenever you want to eat, make sure before you wash your hand, netilat yadayim, hamotzi, don't just eat without netilat yadayim. Bread. So he said, that's it. He said, that's it. So he liked the idea. Every morning or every time he wanted to have bread, washing hands, even when he was in a front line, he managed to find the water before he has bread, this, that. So one time it was kind of a little bit under pressure and he couldn't find the water. He checked here, he checked there. None of the bases around, they had water, and he had to walk all the way to the other base, at least an hour, in order to find water. He said, that's it. I kept it so far. I'm going to continue keeping and doing it. And he did. He went almost walked for 1 hour to the other base. He found the water. He washed. He had bread, lunch, or whatever. When he came back, was no more any base of it. The enemy attacked them, and unfortunately, everyone died. All because he cared about his zehirut, not to let it go, and keeping it, no matter what of the circumstances that is a little bit hard now, tirda, and all these pressures, he kept to his zehirut. That zehirut saved him. So really, people ask, is any mitzvah that has a segula for this, has a segula for that? The best mitzvah that you want to take advantage with the best segula, any mitzvah that you're ready to sacrifice. Any mitzvah that you're ready to give up your comfort, your money, your ego, anything, any mitzvah that you're ready to make sure you do it 100%, that's the best mitzvah that could bring the best geula or best segula for your life. So some people, it's hard for them to keep that mitzvah, but if they try their best and keep up the good work, that mitzvah, which was the harder mitzvah, it becomes the Yeshua and the Geula for them. So don't just, or even myself, let's not just look for the segula of the mitzvah. Let's look for the mitzvah that it could really enhance our zahirut, that it would keep my zahirut, even make me to have a stronger zahirut. That's the mitzvah that has a big zahut or is going to play a main role in my life. پس از اینجا ما چی یاد میگیریم؟ Challenges, tipul and tirdaf olamit, sahok and litzanut, and hebra ra'ah. These three things, unfortunately, they are not our friends, but rather our enemy. Why? Because they're gonna make us less zahir, less careful. And a doctor or nurse, which is less careful or less sensitive, who's gonna pay the price? The patient, the hospital, which they're gonna get infected, they're gonna get bacteria, they're not gonna do the good job. Why? Because they are not careful enough. I remember once a doctor lost his job, a surgeon, a top surgeon. Why? Because in the middle of the surgery, in the OR operation room, a tool fell from his hand on the floor, and he bent down and he took it out and he continued doing it. Right away, they fired him. Because you using the same thing fell on the floor on the patient. How careful, how sensitive you have to be. You lost your sensitivity. You lost your carefulness. You lost your zahirut. You're fired. So we see the more zahir or the more careful we are, the higher level of closer relationship we're going to have with Hashem. May Hashem help us to do all these things. Baruch Hashem Le'olam. Amen v'amen. Yes.
Rabbi, the Ramchal and the time, what's their time difference? It's very similar to
Chofetz Chaim was 100 years ago. Ramchal was close to 300 years ago. Or maybe 400 years ago. Yeah, Ramchal. So we're going to start the next class now. پنج دقیقه دیر اومدید.
اینو از thank you. یه پنجره دیگه بیشتر